17, be exalted and the idols thrown down, for Yahweh worship against idolatry. They will throw their idols of silver to the bats and gold, and they will return to Yahweh, chapter 3. Yes, it's the Lord of hosts. He is taking away from Jerusalem and Judah support of every kind. And then the city of chaos is portrayed here, and the injustice and so on. Line 8, Jerusalem is falling into ruins. Judah is in collapse. When is this written? Well, Judah's still surviving, but it's just barely shaking. It's just, so I think this is authentic from a period in there, somewhere 600 BC. And then more always, the prophets are for the temple and justice and righteousness in Yahweh. 13, Yahweh rises from his judgment seat. He stands to arraign his people, the elders, the princes. You see, you're the ones who destroyed the vineyard. And you grind the poor, you grind down more economic injustice. Most countries have that problem, I'm afraid. But they don't write about it. Okay, so there's nice pictures of all that. The day of the Lord, line 18, he will take all these adornments, ornaments, tiaras, pendants, bracelets, veils, foot chain, foot rings, belts, nose rings, signet rings, perfume, turbans. They're all going to be chucked into a big heap, I think. And your men will fall by the sword. 25. Nice. But they liked oracles in those days. Used to go to Delphi for oracles. But on that day, here it is, first branch prophecy. The branch. It's a very famous messianic image that Jesus is supposed to be the branch of David, the branch of Yahweh, from these various prophecies. I don't think these are prophecies as much as descriptions. Anyway, there will be beauty, fruit of the earth. Survivors will be those who are left. A remnant will survive and remain, and Jerusalem will be holy. You see, it's always about Jerusalem. It's always Zionistic. It's not about Rome. And those left in Jerusalem noted down for survival. Ezekiel's going to say the same thing, that he goes around and he puts a mark on the remnant. So this is the first remnant here of the survivors. Ezekiel says the remnant will be a third of the people who will survive. And he will hunt the rest down with the fire and the sword. And so this is the remnant. But there you see there in Zion and Jerusalem is holy. And the Lord will wash away the filth of the daughter of Jerusalem. And there'll be a great blast of judgment. That's Yom Kippur, sort of shofar blast, if you want to call it that. What they blow in that period of the year. That's where they get to think the idea of the horn being blown for the judgment. So now 5 is a vineyard, a deserted vineyard, I think. More images of field imagery, drinking, so on. And it ends up, of course, with the usual condemnation of economic crimes. Line 23, those who for a bribe acquit the guilty, cheat the good man. There's nothing about, you see what rabbis do here. There's nothing about, praying all day long, or eating certain different kinds of plates, or a lot of what you see in synagogues. No, this is a different form of Judaism. This is an earlier form, much more visionary, poetic, I would say. Not sort of all little sort of commandments of different kinds. The main commandment is justice, righteousness, and be a decent person. Don't exploit other people. Try to help the poor and so on, the needy. So again, but another person reading this would get the wrong idea. Yahweh is aflame with anger, line 25, against his people, ready to strike them. And there's a signal from a distant nation, and the signal is given to them to come. Their arrows are sharpened. Sounds like it's the Assyrians or the Babylonians. I have a note, it's supposed to be the Assyrians here. So it's a picturing the Assyrian invasion, which is going to destroy the north, but doesn't destroy the south totally, somewhat. Anyway, the prophets see all this danger coming, if this is authentic. And it would picture God on his high throne. Chapter 6, I saw the Lord seated on a high throne with his angels above him, 6 wings. This is sort of apocalyptic here. We think of apocalyptic first as appearing in Ezekiel. There's a little bit here. There's a little bit of everything in these. An awful lot here, but I can't cover it. Let's see. Messengers, line 8. Whom shall I send as a messenger? Apostles, messengers. Send me, I answered. So, prophet is the messenger. What is he going to say? Until when, Lord? Line 11. The towns will be laid waste and deserted. It's amazing that they foresee this. It's amazing that they can do this. It's not retrospective, written after the fact. Be great emptiness. 1/10 of the people will return. That's the end of that prophecy. Chapter 7. Ahaz. That's why it's written during these different kings. These are actually specifically named with people that lived at that time, so I assume that they knew what they were talking about. Razon, king of Aram. That was Syria. Aram would be Syria. Went up to Jerusalem with Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, though they were in league together against Jerusalem. And the house of David, you see, is in Jerusalem, line 2. See that? The kingship in the south is considered the house of David. Aram, they said, has reached Ephraim. So this is authentic. They're calling the places by the names they really use. Ephraim is the northern area above Jerusalem there, further north. And then the Lord says to Isaiah, go with your son. And this is like Hosea. Sha'ar Yeshuv. Sha'ar Yeshuv. And that means a remnant will return. He calls his son, like Isaiah calls his different wives and their children, like Hosea did. Ashar Yeshuv, a remnant will return. And meet Ahaz at the end of the conduit of the pool on the Fuller's Field Road.